Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
We're going to be talking to my next guest, which is Roberta Hladek, and she's the co-founder of the Energetic Matrix Church of Consciousness, and that's really, we call that EMC square, because it's an energetic matrix. That's what she involves herself with so much. And so we're so happy you're going to talk to us from Las Vegas.
Yes.
Well, you know, Las Vegas, of course, has had a terrible thing happen recently, but I guess everybody's back now to normal. Now they had something, you know, I mean, we live in a world today that's filled with energy, bad and good, don't we?
Yes, we do, definitely. And hopefully we'll be able to overcome the bad and bring up some new good energy, and this stuff will stop.
Right. But, you know, when you think of it, the world is very large. There are, I don't know how many zillions of people in the world if you start looking everywhere and if you include animals. And so we don't really have a lot of things happen. I mean, I know that we have an earthquake and you have a certain amount of people that maybe are harmed, killed. We have shootings. But when you think of it, the world is really pretty peaceful.
Yeah, when you think about it that way, yeah. As far as how many people there are and then versus the tragedies that happen, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, that's
sure.
really what I do because, I mean, it's very sad when it happens to you or your family or your friends or your community. Mm-hmm. But when you think about it, I mean, we go for years where we don't know of anything.
Yeah. True. Very true. Yeah.
So the good energy must be working a lot more than bad energy.
Yeah, and I think what happens is, you know, years ago we didn't have so much news media. We didn't have Twitter and Facebook and all this stuff, you know, letting us know every little thing that's going on, and not just little things but big things. So we didn't really, you know so much, I think. And maybe big things weren't happening years ago when we didn't have all this too. But, yeah, when you think about it, it's on a big scale, it's small. But when it does hit, it stops us for a minute and makes us start to think. And I think in some ways I think it's I don't want to say a good thing.
I understand where you're going.
But it makes us stop and think about each and every one of us and how precious life is, and that we need to enjoy every single day because you just never know.
Life is fragile. You're absolutely right. Yeah. And I don't do it every morning, but I try when I can think of it, is to write a appreciation or gratitude list, and just, you know, all sorts of things that you can put on there. Simple things, more. I mean, of course, put your dog, put your family. But there's a lot of other gratitude. I mean, I'm grateful, actually, for Boomer Times. I'm grateful for the radio show. I'm grateful for friends like you. So sometimes people wake up and they can decide what the day's going to be like. But if people would do that, I think the day would improve, don't you?
Absolutely. And we can make each day whatever we want it to be. So when we wake up in the morning, if we're going to convince ourselves it's going to be a bad day, chances are it's not going to be a great day for you. But when we can wake up in the morning and be grateful, and yes, we do have to be grateful for Boomer Times in this radio program, because there's probably other places in this world that you wouldn't be allowed to do what you do.
True. That's a very good point.
We're very lucky here that we can speak our minds, and we can protest or do whatever it is that we do within reason. And it's okay. It's a freedom that we have, and we have to realize that those freedoms are very precious, and hopefully they won't be eroded by some of the other stuff that's going on.
So my guest is Roberta Hladek, and she is, and there's another way to get onto the web. It's easy. It's called AIM.com, right?
AIMprogram.com.
Oh, AIMprogram.com. Thank you.
Yes.
And if you go there, you will see what she really is in charge of. It's very big. We don't talk enough about it, but why don't you just tell people if they go on to the website, what are they going to see?
Well, if you go onto the website, the first thing that you're going to see is a small little video, and if you click on that, it gives you an idea of what the AIM program really is. And the AIM program helps us to shift our energy. It also helps us with grieving. It helps us with so many things. But it's a tool to help us inside to make our days good, bad, whatever we're going to make them. But it's great energy for us to overcome those situations and things. And not that they're going to all go away and life is going to be just perfect for us, but it's going to make those hills and valleys a little bit softer so that we have the energy to overcome adversities in our lives and to deal with the stresses and strains of everyday life that we go through.
That's a very good explanation. And there are people who really live alone. They don't have people to help them through it. And so your website will certainly give them some other things to look at. I was thinking, have you made any new discoveries since the time we talked last?
Oh, gosh, yes.
We've
found, I think so far this year, we have 380 new frequencies that I've found and added to the AIM program. And what's really interesting is I received the sweetest note from a participant's grandmother. She's been on our autism program. And our autism program we've talked about before, but it's a free program that we put participants on who have the frequency similar to autism. And if the parent or guardian goes on with them, they can get a discount on their program. And we do advise that because then it helps the guardian know what the participant is going through and kind of help them and guide them as well. This girl has been an amazing participant. She's been on our program for a while. She was quite young when she came on, but they sent me a note, and she just got married.
Oh, how incredible.
And she's just doing great. She is just, her grandmother is her guardian, and her grandmother said without her being on the program, they don't think she would be doing as well as she is, and she's just living a quote-unquote normal life. And she has her ups and downs, but she's doing fabulous. And now she just got married, and she sent me a picture of her and her husband and Grandma.
Oh, that really makes the day. So if she were not on, let's just do this as a case study. So if she were not on this, and when she first got on, and what does she do now that she didn't do before?
Well, she's living normally as all the rest of us, and I hate to use the word normal, but she's living just like any of the rest of us would. And autism is a tough thing for a lot of participants. It's difficult, and it's these kids and these adults, it's really a block that they have to overcome, and some can do really, really well, and it also depends, I guess, on the severity of the symptom. But she was having a really difficult time when she first came on the program, and the grandma, she happened to see this and put her daughter on, and she's on as well, or put the granddaughter on. And she said without it, she wouldn't be living this way. She would be having issues and having a hard time to be in a normal situation, like being social, in school, maybe not doing as well in school as she's been doing. Those things that we take for granted with our kids. You know, if you have a child that has special needs, you know what we're talking about. But she's done fabulous, and she's really made a big difference in her life, definitely. Well, she would not be able to do this stuff. She may not be getting married.
Right. I just started watching a program, talked about autism. Have you watched The Good Doctor?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
I love it.
I mean, that's the, when you talked about the autism, I thought, when I first started watching this, I didn't understand what it was. Now I do know. Isn't that amazing?
Mm-hmm. It's terrific. So, it's the stumbling block that these people have that we need to help them to break through that block and be able to be out in the quote-unquote normal world and get out of their shell and be able to express themselves. A lot of these participants, I think they're just really intelligent, and there's just that intelligence needs to get out there. And that's what the AIM program does. It helps them to break through and to get through that and be able to communicate. A lot of them can't verbally communicate.
Yes, that's so. Well, that is really extraordinary. That's a great story, and I thank you very much for that. So, okay, that was one. Tell us about some of the other new frequencies.
Well, we've had a few. I think I talked about them maybe the last time, but we've even expanded more on those. But there's been a lot of weight loss frequencies, and just so that we all understand, it's not always just one frequency that helps someone with some of these issues and challenges that they're having. We call it a layering effect, and sometimes there's several frequencies, and we just have to keep chipping away at them until they get there. But we have a longtime participant who has been having difficulties with his weight, and they've shown that his thyroid might be a little bit slow. He was telling me on his notes to me when he wanted to be checked that some of these things might not be working as well as they should be, and he'd had all the blood tests, he's been going to the doctor, all that. And he has lost 43 pounds, and he's very excited. He said he's got 60 more to go, but he said he's feeling great, and it's been relatively easy. He said at least, going on a so-called diet, he's been able to lose the weight, so it gives him incentive, whereas before he would try to lose weight and nothing was happening, so he would get discouraged and he'd go off it. But he said now he's on a change in his eating habits totally. He doesn't like to call it a diet, but he said it's a lifestyle change, and he's doing fabulous. So we had found some new frequencies in him, and they have helped him to break through that block that he's had.
That's excellent. And something that I do want to share with people, we put animals on this, and I know I've had my wonderful dog, all the ones, whether some of them not here anymore, but we've had them on there also. And it's really, whether it's a dog or yourself, we're all just energy, and it just depends, what we look like.
True. We're the furry with 4 legs.
But this is really for people who really want to use the energy that they were born with. And we don't know how to do that so easily. And that's why this organization has really developed computer programs that can help you attain the highest potential of your body.
Absolutely.
So, of course, Roberta has been doing this for a long, long time. And this isn't casual. This is not like, it's not like Google that you have all these people on these machines, the drones and all this. This is a system that Stephen, who was the founder of this, really developed. So it's been on for how many years is it now?
We're coming up on our 20-year anniversary.
20 years.
And then Stephen and I worked with it long before that, but the AIM program and what we are today is going to be 20 years old next year.
Amazing. So was there a moment when Stephen was working on this and you were working on this when it was like a epiphany? I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, look. Was there ever a moment like that?
I think, back when we first started trying to figure out how to transmit the energy and for everyone to be a part of it, I think it was at that point when we trialed it on the office. And we told everybody in the office, we're going to put you on these trays, and we showed them everything, and we said, we're going to try this and see how it works for you guys. Because back when Stephen and I were together, I was in homeopathy school, and I used to get headaches because when I met him, I had been in a car accident. And he wanted to try the photo on me. And I said, but I have school. I had a big test the following day, and I had a severe headache. And I said, I just want to get over this headache so I can work on my schoolwork. So if you could just help me and give me a bottle of drops, because that's what we used. And he said, no, we're going to try this. And I felt like, I was like, can we try it another time right now? This is kind of important.
Right.
And I said, okay, and he said, well, let's make a deal. And whenever he'd say, let's make a deal, I knew I was in trouble. And he said, let's make a deal. And if it doesn't help you within an hour, I'll make you a bottle of drops, or you can make yourself, because I always made the drops. He said, you make your bottle of drops and, do that. So I said, okay, fine. So he checked me, and he put my photograph on our little trays that we had at that time that he was going to try. And lo and behold, in probably about 30 minutes, my headache subsided.
Really?
And at that point, I went, okay, we're on to something. This really helped. And he said, how do you feel? And I was like, I hate to tell you, but I do feel better.
Right.
Because I was pretty stuck. The photograph was hard for me to, I trusted him implicitly, but I was so used to taking drops that I thought, I don't know if I want to do that. I just want my drops. That's what I'm used to. But when it worked, I thought, oh, this is great. Now I don't have to worry about taking drops and just put my picture on there and forget about it and feel better, And so that was probably our epiphany right there. And then when I put the office on the first time, and all of the girls were like, wow, I feel different. And I said, well, how do you feel? We kept interviewing them sort of and asking them, well, how do you feel? And they'd say, well, I feel like I have more energy. I feel lighter. One girl said, I feel like my eyes are open. Huh. And so those were kind of our moments of when we knew that we could do it and it would help a lot of people and we could get to more people. That was our whole thing, was being able to have more people be available to it, because as in private practice, you can only see so many people a day. And Steve was a workhorse. He would keep seeing people until there was nobody to see. He never wanted to turn anyone away. So he would work. I had to sometimes stop him because it would start getting late and that kind of thing. But he was had a huge heart, and he just wanted everyone to be able to have this technology. So when we came up with this program and being able to transmit the energies, I think that was a big day.
Yeah, I would say so. That was. And of course, you keep doing other things, but you see, it's the biggest problem you had, I could see, was now to share that and get people to want to be a part of this. That was not easy, I'm sure.
No, in the book, Sanctuary helped us tremendously. And then we had a lot of people that were on the program that were very visible in the public eye, like Wayne Dyer. Wayne was instrumental in helping us, and then there were others too. We had some celebrities and things like that would talk about it to their friends and stuff, and then it would people would check us out to see what we're all about. And I know some people look and they go, "You're a church," but we are a church, but not in the sense that you go to a specific organization on Sundays or Saturdays or whenever you go. It's a different type of church. We don't ask anyone to stop doing anything of what they're doing. Don't stop going to the doctor. Don't stop going to church. Don't stop praying. Don't stop anything that you're doing. This is just to enhance those things that you are doing and to be able to bring you the best that you can be. And we all have it inside us, but sometimes we get lost along the way with stresses, strains. We're all working like crazy. We're taking kids here and there because now with the way the world is, kids don't ride their bikes to school anymore. They don't get to go outside and play so much anymore. They're being driven everywhere, and they have all these activities. And then we're, driving in traffic. There's more traffic than there was before. So there's a lot of things that have changed in our world. So what the AIM program does is it helps us to deal with those things. And we have it inside us that we can do it. And when we're in balance, that's when we feel the best. And that's what it's all about, being in balance.
Yep, that's it. And to date, are there any other organizations that have followed your lead?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of. I haven't heard of any.
Well, because have you patented your program on the computer?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And have you had people who have approached you?
Oh, yeah. We've had people, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, good.
But, yes, years ago we had a large company want to buy us. And it was always a kind of a scary thing because we aren't about the money. It wasn't that, because we could have sold it. But what it was about was how were they going to use the technology? Were they going to use it in a positive way or in a negative way? And we feel that this has been given to us. It's a gift, and we only want to use it in a positive way. And you just don't know, where it's going to go or whatever. And Steve was very against it. We've had a lot of participants want to buy a machine so they could do it themselves, and we don't sell the machines, but...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, that I was thinking there might be something that they would do, or maybe have you, I don't know. You're right. It's something that is so important, but yet if anyone's really interested, I guess they'll contact you and you could figure out what you can do with them. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
But it really is excellent. Okay, something that we did talk about, we talked about the, when we talked about the autism, but also there's Down syndrome that I know there have been a lot of mothers, and you've offered the same opportunity for kids with Down syndrome. What if someone's had Down syndrome for 20, 30 years? Are there any changes in those kind of people?
Everybody benefits from the program, no matter who you are. A lot of people say, but I'm not sick. I have friends, that say, are you still doing that thing? Yes, I'm still doing that. Well, why don't you check it out? Well, I'm not sick. Well, you don't have to be sick. And I would say most of the people that come on our program are not. With someone with Down syndrome, to keep someone in balance, no matter who you are, no matter what it is that's going on in your life, if we can help you to bring your life into balance, you're going to feel better. And we all have frequencies and out of balance frequencies in us because we're all an energy pattern. So there's all of us can benefit from it. Down syndrome participants do benefit no matter what age they come on the program. It doesn't mean that they will. Sometimes their facial features have changed in the little ones. We've had a couple little small children, like 2, 3 years old, and parents have said, I think their facial features are changing. They're becoming sharper and different things like that. But everyone has benefit from it.
Have you heard where anyone maybe is now speaking where they weren't able to speak as well?
We've had several. Yes,
wow.
We've had some really amazing results that participants have had with the program. This particular little girl that I have here, she's in her 20s, I think now. She's one of those participants, and there's been thousands, I would say, maybe not thousands, but a lot that have done really, really well with the program. So I think, I don't think there's anybody that can't benefit from the program.
Mm-hmm. And so let's say I know that I was at 100 and hopefully I'm still at 100, but what happens when someone goes down rather than stays where it is? Do you know that without having to go test them or?
No, I would have to. Some people say, well, didn't a bell go off and tell you?
I see.
No, but when I do the testing and the computer sends me a stack of people that I need to test every day, and they might be on the 5-month check or the 11th month check, and I check their life forces, and if they have gone down, then my job is to find out why. Is there something that not in the database that they're reacting to? Did something change in them? Have they started a medication? There's so many different variables that it could be, but usually it's something not in the database, and then I need to find out what it is and get that frequency on the database so that they can then raise their life force back up again.
So then you contact them and try to work with them that way?
Well, usually when I find the frequency that's not in the database, I let the facilitator know, and the facilitator is the go-between us and the participant, and they will contact the participant and let them know that we've found something that's not in the database in them and that it lowered their life force a little bit, but once it goes away, it should raise their life force.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's very mystical, even though... you know what you're doing, but for people to hear this, it's like, what in the world are they talking about, right?
Yeah, true. Yes, and you just have to experience it, and you have to have an open mind. But, I just think if I wasn't on the program or if I wasn't involved in the program, I would definitely check it out and do it. It doesn't take anything. I don't have to go to somewhere every week. I really don't have to do anything but complete the application and send it in.
Should really do this. Go to aimprogram.com, and then you'll get a chance. If you want to talk to Roberta, I'm sure you'll be able to do that. Tell her you heard her on the radio show. And thank you, Roberta. It's always such a pleasure to talk to you.
It was great talking to you, too. Bye-bye.